Wish you were able to bend that ball around a wall during a free kick? Wish you were able to curve that ball around the keeper when you're shooting on net? Then make sure to stick around to how to bend/curve a soccer ball in soccer. Hello, if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Dylan Joseph, soccer trainer and #1 best-selling Amazon Understand Soccer book series author at understandsoccer.com, and I've been training tens of thousands of soccer players for well over a decade. The Understand Soccer channel commitment is to post one video weekly demonstrating the soccer skills a soccer player needs and exactly what situations to use those skills and exactly how to practice those skills, all in an effort to build your soccer confidence. So if you want better skills and to build your soccer confidence, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon to join the soccer squad and to ensure you don't miss any future videos on building your soccer confidence. Make sure to stick around to the end of this video for a pro tip on which portion of the net you generally want to aim for when bending that soccer ball. So what skill are we covering today? How to curve/bend a soccer ball in soccer. So for that first tip, starting 45 degrees diagonal from the ball is a recommendation if you're trying to get it to the far post. But if I'm trying to get it to the near post, if I'm shooting towards you and I'm shooting that way, I can easily start behind this ball. I can bend my legs and make sure my hips pointed there and I'm fine. So I technically started behind it and goes diagonal. But we're talking in this instance, going to that far post, bending around a wall, bending around a goalkeeper, getting to that far post, we want to start diagonal from the ball. Okay, so it's so important that when we start diagonal, we have a little bit of a run up. I don't want to be just starting here and trying to take that free kick. I'm not going to generate very much power versus me having a 3 or 4 step run up so that I can get some speed as I approach that ball in order to strike it. A little bit more body speed and momentum and weight getting through that ball is going to make for a more powerful bench shot. More powerful means less time for the goalie to react, to the defenders, that wall, to react and try to block your shot. So for that second rule, remember, first rule, diagonal. Second rule, planting really close to that ball. I'm talking 6 inches, I'm talking maybe even a little bit closer. Because when we go to strike that ball, notice I want to point outside that far post so that when I follow through, I can now be pointing at the far post. As I follow through and cross my legs, crossing my legs will help me get that spin on the ball. But we want to plant close enough so that when I follow through, I do cross my legs. If I plant too far away and I follow through, I'm not crossing my legs now. So plant closer when you're trying to bend that ball. So like I said, that third tip is we want to make sure that our toe is down and out, but we also want our knee facing out so that we can strike it with that bone of that foot, but that we can follow through and bend that ball. But now it's so important. When I bring my leg back, do I want just a straight leg like this? No, that's going to be a pass shot, not going to give you as much power. So we still want to bend at the hip and at the knee. So at the hip, getting this back, as well as at the knee, getting my foot back. Getting that foot back here, look at how much distance my foot has to go in order to strike that ball. You're naturally going to generate a lot of power having your foot further back like this versus me just bringing my leg back a little and trying to strike from here. It's just not a reality of having that powerful of a shot. So if we're trying to get some power on that bent, that curved shot, it's so important that we really bring that leg behind our body so that we can really get some contact and quality power on that shot when finding that far post. So for that fourth tip, and probably the most important tip of curving and bending that ball, is that we've got to make sure that we're pointing our body outside, and in this instance, this example, this video, we're going to that far post. So we got to make sure that we're pointing our body outside that far post so that when we cross our legs, now our hips are actually pointed to that far post. So we want to actually be starting pointing away from the net and then follow through so that our hips are pointed to the portion of the net that we want that ball to go. So remember, your hips don't lie, and neither did Shakira's. So it's so important that after you shoot, you look at your hips. If that shot was perfect, it's probably because your hips are perfect. If that shot was way off, it's probably because your hips were pointed, you planted too close, you crossed your legs when you weren't supposed to, or in this instance, you didn't cross your legs enough, you turned your hips too much or too little. So important, your hips do not lie. Look at your hips to see where that ball went in 9 out of 10 shots. Notice how when I make contact with the ball, my hips are pointed away from the net. Then as I follow through, I finish by pointing my hips hips just inside the far post. Therefore, other than when using a toe poke, which will be discussed in an upcoming video, so make sure to subscribe, where your hips are pointed dictates where the ball ends up. Therefore, do not be lazy with pointing your hips and keeping your head down to keep your form perfectly together. Notice how I am crossing and then uncrossing my feet as I follow through because I'm planting very close to the ball. Notice my hips end up pointing at the direction I am looking for the ball to travel. So if you're getting value from this channel, please comment below which is your favorite way to shoot. Do you prefer the bent and curve shot? Do you prefer a driven shot? Maybe a pass shot? Maybe a toe poke? Maybe a heel shot? What's your favorite way to shoot? Let me know in the comment section below. So for that first thing we want to avoid, and I've harped on it already and I'm going to harp on it some more, it's that we want to make sure that we go and we avoid not pointing our hips to the portion of that we want. So to start, because we need to bend our body, we need to curve the ball, bend that ball, and we need to cross those hips, we've got to be planted and pointed outside of that far post so that when I follow through, I'm pointed to that far post or a near post, wherever you're shooting. In this instance, we're going far post. Okay, so it's so important that you avoid not being thoughtful where your hips are pointed. Point outside the far post. Cross your hips on the follow through so that they're pointed to the far post after you're done crossing those hips and crossing that leg. That next thing to avoid, super important, is that we avoid picking our head up too early. Remember, when you take those free kicks, when you take those bent shots, those driven shots, any type of shots, keeping your head down, your shoulders down, keeps your form together. As soon as you lift your head up, your shoulders come back, and those shots are probably gonna be soaring way over the net. So if you wanna waste an opportunity and potentially make it so your coach benches you in terms of not taking any free kicks anymore, then yes, lift your head up, watch the shot, watch that goal go in. Otherwise, keep your head down, let everybody else tell you how great of a goal was. You don't need to see it yourself. It still counts even if you don't see it. So make sure to stick around to the end of this video for that pro tip you've been waiting for. Soccer squad. Since we're talking about shooting and finishing in this video, this is in the second layer of the individual soccer player's pyramid. As a soccer player, start with passing and receiving because every soccer player needs that. Then move to the second layer of the pyramid. You will have a selection to make here. My recommendation is that if you're a defender, then go to the defending section first. If you're a midfielder, then grab that dribbling and foot skills book first. However, if you're a forward, I recommend grabbing that shooting and finishing book first. I really care about you and want to provide you as much value as possible. I want you to have as many ways to shoot so that you can overcome the defender in any game situation and feel terrific knowing you are the reason your team won. If you want to learn more about how to have the hardest and most accurate shots in your league, then grab the second book in the Understand Soccer series, Soccer Shooting and Finishing, today on Amazon.com using the link in the description below. This book is available in paperback, audiobook, and ebook and makes a terrific gift. And if you use the link in the description below for the audiobook to sign up with Audible, you can listen to this book for free by creating a new account. So for that pro tip you've been waiting for, where should you aim when striking a bend shot? Well, it all depends where you're at, where the goalie's at, of course. If he's standing way out of place, then pick the open spot on the net. But in general, if I'm shooting straight at you and you're the net, I'm gonna be bending away from the net and away from the goalkeeper. It doesn't make sense for me to try to take a right-footed bend shot and bend towards the left post because it's gonna bend directly in front of the goalkeeper and make it easier for him to save. Versus me having a right foot bend shot going to the right post, and that starts bending away from the keeper, and then last second comes in and goes that far post. So as he's trying to extend and reach, that ball is able to go around his hand, around him, and maybe he or she is not even judging that the ball's gonna go in, so they don't even jump for it, and then it curves and ends up in the back of the net. So if you're shooting with your right foot, aim away from the goalkeeper, away from that far post so it can bend last second back in. So right-footed bend shots, aim for that right post. Left-footed bend shots, aim for that left post. All right, Soccer Squad, let me know in the comment sections below if you have any feedback on how I can make these videos better, or if you have any ideas or suggestions on topics you'd love for me to cover in the future. And if you received any value from this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe and hit that bell notification icon to join the Soccer Squad and to boost your soccer confidence. And make sure to share this video with one person that you think it'd be able to help. Also, you don't want to miss that next video on a great shot to use when you're at that penalty kick spot or at the very least inside that 18-yard box. So if you haven't watched the video on the form for the most powerful shot, then make sure to click here. Also, be sure to leave in the comment section below, what's your favorite way to shoot? What do you prefer most? When I was growing up as a kid, I preferred that bent, that cross, that aiming far post type of shot because that's all I practiced. I was silly and I practiced with the ball stop, which is very ungame realistic, so it's so so important that you practice the way you want to play, but let me know in the comments below which is your favorite way to shoot that ball. Also, if you could, follow me on Instagram at understandsoccer.com if you like fun soccer facts as well as soccer memes.